We had this in the other exam, and we talked about it.
I know. It didn't retain, obviously, or something.
I think what's also happening is I'm starting to just trip over stuff I think I know. Like, I feel like I learned something 2 weeks ago that's like falling out of my left ear when I'm jamming something new into my right ear.
This is the final week preparing for the written test for the instrument rating.
Remember that advice I gave you? If you have two answers that both look right,
Yeah.
A is correct, C is correcter, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to say a huge, massive thanks to the community. So many people sent me supportive messages and lots of help. I'm going home to bed because this has been a stressful few days. I didn't sleep much over the weekend for other reasons. Still managed to pass, so thanks.
At least the temptation to fly while I was trying to study was mostly removed.
But we do have a long duration event, maybe up to 10 hours of freezing rain or freezing drizzle.
Hoover has been sort of a recurring character throughout this IFR status vlog, and so have these freakishly persistent ice storms.
And this car is also kind of a character in the vlog, but it's not a sponsor, so not going to talk about the brand. How about we say this episode is brought to you by manual transmissions? Because every pilot should enjoy the control afforded by a manual transmission.
But in all seriousness, I've got some amazing supporters and mentors. You've met several of them in previous episodes, including Osama, who's been there since the start. He flies a TBM 850 and a Phenom 300.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's take it up.
Let's do it. So I'm gonna read out the answers. You're gonna do this. You're gonna circle anything that's wrong and put the correct answer next to it.
I drove this same route on the first vlog to go flying, but today the weather is not flyable.
So I have these crazy spiky things, because that is nuts. Kind of put them around your boots. That makes a difference. What do you think of that, eh, buddy? This is his favorite hill to walk on, but today everything is ice. Let's see how this works now. All right, now I'm invincible. Yeah, this poor guy has been having a couple rough nights. He's had upset stomach, but that guy is a trooper. He does not have house accidents. Even when he's not feeling well, he comes and quietly wakes us up to take him out in the middle of the night. But having a dog that needs to go to the bathroom at 2 in the morning in February in Toronto during an ice storm sucks. Come on, buddy, let's go to the top of the hill. You need spikes on your feet. Over the past week or so, Osama's been working with me to really start hammering on practice tests. I figure we've done more than 300 practice test questions, and he's been an awesome sport working with me and doing side-by-side tests so we can take them up together and debrief the questions.
This is the read the question one. I saw you do that mistake.
I'm running into a lot of question issues with the language where it's like I understand, I think, the concept, but I'm getting it wrong because I'm not understanding what the question is asking.
It says a long controlled airways. It gives you the hint. It's not telling you you're out in the wild. That's the answer.
Minimum en route altitude, I thought I could be at the MEA if I'm in controlled airspace.
In extremely cold temperatures.
Oh, yeah, okay, right.
In extremely cold temperatures. You want to be 1,000 above MEA. The trick here is you have to read a long controlled airways, and then you know B, C, and D. It doesn't matter what. Don't even look at the numbers.
So I got to get used to these questions. So doing a zillion test questions is a good way to study. You start to learn what to look for. In the States, apparently, there's a thing everyone's talking about called Shepherd Air. We don't have that here for Canada, and I guess they actually give you the legit question bank so you can memorize them. It doesn't work that way here. You can get sample questions that are similar, but they won't be exact, which honestly I think is better because then you learn the material. However, some of these questions are just killing me, like fixed card ADF.
I shared a bunch of these questions on Instagram while I was working through this stuff, and I'll continue to do that as I switch into flight training. It's fun to engage with the community here. And also note, this episode is published in 4K resolution, so you can pause and make out some of the details. I'm going to be sharing a lot of stuff with various questions we work through.
No, we're not going in there. I know you love to play in there. He loves to play in the schoolyard, but we only go after hours. I'm trying to get a walk out of him, and then I gotta go. Come on, buddy, let's go. Good boy. I know, it's slippy.
You'll know this has been like a 4-year battle for me if you've been following the channel, and the morning of my test I woke up to this online.
Bonjour, Flight Chops.
Good luck.
Buena suerte con tu examen.
Good luck in your IR test.
Good luck on your instrument rating written test.
So thanks to the team at Infinite Flight, it was somewhere between awesome and scary, knowing that thousands of people were going to be aware that I was writing the test that day. but it ended happily, and this episode is going to follow the process of those final days getting ready to write.
We're walking on the ice because this is his most likely spot to go to the bathroom. But I don't know how this is going to work today. Beyond the fact that he's sick, he can't find a spot because of all this ice. At best, studying is hard, but I've been sleep deprived for the past 2 days. And Osama's got me working really hard. Oh, buddy. I don't know. You want to go that way? Look at that wind. That sucks. Maybe we should go. Let's go down the neighborhood. Let's go this way. The other day was a classic winter warm front. So I screen capped the GFA, which is a Canadian forecast, and got Jason from the Finer Points, my CFI in California, to grab the ForeFlight weather briefing to go over it, just because that's a practical example of what we really get trained to deal with for instrument flying, which is basically the worst case scenario, icing in a winter warm front. I think that's the worst case. I mean, Osama actually canceled a flight in the Phenom 300 that day.
Yeah, check this out. Severe icing. Yeah. From surface to 40 and mixed from 80 to 160. I was actually asked to fly a flight to Halifax and back yesterday, coming back this morning, and I said, no, this is the stuff that where I draw the line. I'm not going to fly in it, even in a jet.
But the community has been incredibly supportive. I think people are relating to the struggle. I think I'm struggling more than most. I think at this point, if I didn't have the kind of support that I have in the community, people like Osama and just the community in general, I probably would have quit if I was by myself at this point.
In December, I started this vlog committed to studying 1 hour per day, but even at this point, a month later, I was barely passing tests, 70 is a pass. So I ramped up the studying to 6 hours a day.
Yeah, I basically stopped everything for the past week. I've done nothing but study. No other work, really nothing with the family. I don't know, it's so hard to know if I'm feeling frustrated and exhausted, but I'm not feeling ready. I keep getting tripped up by language on these questions. A lot of stuff I feel like I understand, I still get it wrong. I know they say read the question twice and all that stuff, but I'm almost treating it like a college course, and I'm still struggling. You gonna pee on that bush? Hey, what's up? You not sure? We gotta get this done, man. The last couple weeks, it's been going to Osama's place, which is what I'm doing today. Hoover's not with me today. Got someone looking after him. Osama's been an awesome mentor and supporter. I'm not going to bail on him, even though today I just wanted to go back to bed after walking Hoover this morning, I'll be honest.
So what's the next error?
10.
It was the 802 applies, so therefore the 740 is no good.
Right, and I could slide it.
And you can slide it to 901.5.
Okay.
Things like alternate minimums are super complicated, but I understand why it's important. I mean, that's your out. You need to know that if you can't make it into your destination, you're going to have a place to go where the weather is acceptable. It's complicated to figure out the alternate minima, but I understand why, and I think I got a handle on those questions now.
SIDS are something I don't think the FAA tests on, but American pilots should know about this.
Something that trips up a lot of US pilots in Canada is that we have a SID for almost every controlled airport. Oshawa has a SID, Buttonville has SIDs. The smallest controlled airports have SIDs. And in the US, you get SIDs for pretty much the large airports, but many of the small airports, they don't. The clearance in the US is always climb runway heading, maintain 5,000 or 4,000, whatever it is. You almost never get that type of clearance in Canada because you always get a SID, and you have to look at the SID to see what your altitude is. So if you get a SID, that's a clue your altitude is in the SID.
So in this case, it's tricky because the word SID is not in there, but they said Halifax for departure, which you should know is a SID.
Yeah, it's a departure procedure, right? So I've had US pilots say, oh, well, they'll call back and say, well, what altitude should I climb to? Well, it's in the SID. I told you, it's Oshawa 3 departure. And if you look up Oshawa 3, you'll say climb maintain 3,000.
We actually did exactly this in IFR status vlog number 1.
Golf X-ray India, Oshawa Tower, an amendment to your clearance advised, ready to copy.
If you go review that video, you actually wrote and read back the clearance, and there was no altitude in it.
Yeah. I was just so happy I got the readback right. I didn't think about what was actually in it.
We should watch that clip.
Right now?
Yeah, I'll go get my laptop. You might want to include this in your
Yeah, I'll cut into it because this is a perfect example of. And then it got me when she amended it because I was like, "What just happened?"
That's another question, right? I don't know if it was test 4 or It said if they amend something in the clearance,
does it cancel?
Does it cancel? No, it does not.
Charlie, Golf X
Charlie Golf X-ray India, looking for IFR clearance to Mount Tremblant.
Call X-ray India, Oshawa ground clear to the Charlie Yankee Foxtrot Juliet Airport. Oshawa 3 departure, flight plan rate squawk 2255.
There you go.
That's it. No, there was no altitude, right?
Clear to Charlie Yankee Foxtrot Juliet as filed, using the Osh 3 departure, and we're squawking 2255 for X-ray India.
There you go. So that was an acceptable clearance.
Okay, that's good, man. I guess what I was thinking in the test was they were going to say, but expect such and such altitude 10 minutes after blah, 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 but that's going to happen with departure. And that's
It's in the SID.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's why it says if you're
They all have calm failures.
if it happens less than 10 minutes, this is what you do. More than 10 minutes, continue on. That's always what
Exactly. So she just said Oshawa 3 departure. By doing that, she cut out climb and maintain 3000. And she cut out expect flight level 250 10 minutes after departure.
Right. Because the SID will say expect flight planned altitude. It says all that in the SID.
Calm failure, and if you recognize it before this, maintain the same altitude for 10 minutes, then proceed on course, then,
Okay. All right, cool. I think that'll be staying in my brain, so this is good.
But it's still easy to trip over the nuance of the language in these questions.
What was your answer? C?
So I guess what got me wrong here is
What's the 1914? But read the thing carefully.
Read the answer?
No, read the plate.
It says, upon reaching last assigned altitude, proceed directly on course. Maintain last assigned altitude for 10 minutes after takeoff.
After takeoff?
Oh, yeah.
Takeoff.
Not the failure. The way they worded this, at 19 Zulu, your aircraft is airborne. So I guess that means takeoff? Yeah. I just wish they would have been a little more clear about that.
Well, airborne is takeoff.
Yeah. So that's what got me. So I saw the 1904. I added 10 minutes to it.
The 1904 serves the purpose of saying
you're less than 10 minutes.
This calm thing is
active.
valid.
Yeah. Yeah. Reason and the logic for that being they want to make sure that you're far enough away that you're safe.
No, the logic being is that they have to pick a time so that you and them are on the same page. They know you took off at 1900. You're gonna start climbing at 1910. It gives them some time to get people out of your way.
Okay.
All of this is designed so that when you lose communication, the pilot and ATC both know exactly what's going to happen without having to communicate with each other.
So really, this whole thing about when you notice your failure is only about whether to activate the specific SID failure route. Procedure or
en route
or the standard one. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's as simple. You just didn't read the SID carefully. That's it.
Yeah, I missed the takeoff versus recognition.
Yeah.
Okay. But the logic of it makes sense now because the recognition can be variable. Like if you recognize it at 19.
Exactly.
And we got a thing called an approach band, and we got low visibility and reduced visibility ops.
I put C. The answer is D. And this is a approach band question.
The ceiling is never an issue in an approach band. Only visibility. Remember, approaches are governed by RVR. So the RVR here is 2000, which is above the limit.
Yeah, I think I was looking for 2600, but it should have been 1200.
It's 1200, right?
Yeah, 1200. Right.
So D, it's approach is authorized.
Yep.
Okay. But you may not land, but you can do the approach. There's no issue.
17, I put C. The answer is A. If cleared for a contact approach. Well, false.
False.
Right. So I thought ground visibility is false, right? Because it's flight visibility that matters to you. Because you can't. How do you know what ground visibility is? That's what I thought we talked about.
When you're cleared for an approach, ATC is locking down the airspace for you. Okay. So the pilot, you're never responsible for separation. This is not collision avoidance, not terrain or obstruction. IFR separation is in fact the primary responsibility of ATC.
Yeah, so I guess I immediately saw that. I was like, no, there's VFR guys, I gotta worry about it. But this question is not about VFR.
IFR separation.
Yeah, you gotta
right?
read it, yeah.
Not collision avoidance. A very specific term.
Yeah.
So don't confuse separation with traffic avoidance or obstacle avoidance. What separation is, they're not going to clear another airplane into your airspace at the same time. That's their responsibility. The landing 9 is governed by the DH and MDA, I think, which is D. You got that right. Okay, so what's the next error?
I'm still struggling with cold temperature correction, mostly because our questions end up putting us in a spot where we have to interpolate between altitudes. I think in real life, I would probably just bump it up to the next round number that's higher, but I understand why if you're a commercial operator and you gotta go to minimums, you're gonna wanna know right down to the number of how low you can go safely. So I get it, but anyway, that's a trouble spot for me.
Then I also got 5 wrong.
Yeah, I got 5 wrong too. And let's talk about that. And the correct answer, when the pilot requests it and the tops are well defined. So, okay, we just have to memorize this. I know why B is wrong, because it's not just A and B, it's F too. So that should have been a hint.
Yeah.
Okay, only for CVFR or IFR, that's not true. Only if within low level controlled airspace, that's not true. I should have, by process of elimination, figured out that it's A, but I did not. Anyway, it's
Okay.
A. You have
All
to
right.
have a well-defined tops. Makes
And-
sense because it's 1,000 above. So if they're not well-defined, how are you going to know that you're 1,000 above?
And it's requested because how's ATC gonna know?
Yeah, you have to request it. Exactly.
So that was logical. Okay.
I just have always found workarounds and I think outside the box to solve problems, but I've never been good at traditional learning. I've always been an underachiever in school.
Turbojet aircraft required fuel destination to plus. I mean, they're messing with me by telling me a turbojet like it's IFR and the rule is 45, right?
I know, I fly turbojet.
So I'm going with A.
This one ended up going on my cheat sheet. Shout out to everyone that sent me samples of theirs to help me build mine.
Yeah, I draw the diagram, right? So then I should just follow it. I should use this as my map.
Exactly. You're going to climb, you're going to cruise, you're going to approach and miss. You're going to go and you're going to land.
And then 45 minutes.
And then you've got 45 minutes. And that's essentially these steps. You got 37 wrong? Wow, that's bad.
That is bad because of what the hell?
Here's how I would see it. Hold the page upside down. Okay. And
No, so that should be down here.
you're going to
On that.
180. And then it says the track bar is to the right. So you must be to the right of this line.
So that puts me in quadrant 1.
It puts you in quadrant 1.
51.
Okay, what did you answer?
I can't believe I got that wrong. I put A. Okay, it even says it on the chart. 25.
Yes, but it has to be above freezing. See, C is the correct answer, which is the same exactly as A. But the temperature has, you know, you can't get ice
Yeah.
below above freezing temperature.
So let's look at that chart though, because I just read it off the chart. It was like
Yes, of course it's on the chart, but it's an area, and the temperature varies in this area.
Yeah.
So they gave it a blob of 2,500 to 6,000, but if in the northern area it might be at 2,500, and in a bit more south it might be 2,700, a bit more south it might be 3,000. You know what I'm saying? Like it's.
So what they're saying is there's a chance that the freezing level could be at 3,000 in some of this area.
Yeah, but when you look at it, both are correct. This is a bit more correct.
I feel sorry for people whose English is a second language, man. I mean, good lord. I know, man. Good for you. Okay, so number 9, I wrote check beside it. I guessed A, and the answer is D.
So the trick here is they said low-level air route, and that's a specific term that means you're in uncontrolled airspace.
Yeah. I guess my concern is I'm IFR. What if there's another IFR aircraft that ATC knows
That in the north.
So then you're gonna just talk on 1267 and hope you both hear you?
Yes, that's the way it works in the north. It's uncontrolled. People fly IFR, and they use the big sky theory. I know, it's crazy.
Is this a thing in the States too?
No,
No.
everything's controlled in the U.S.
Okay, so
This is up in the in the
middle of nowhere, I know.
All right, if you're still here, you're one of the engaged people, so I really hope you win this. We're giving it away. Riding the Extra 300. I'm gonna be there. Accommodations and stuff are paid for. And IFR flight test prep is coming next.
So count all the wrong ones. Okay, here we go.
It's not a fail.
Congratulations, you got 80%. Fantastic. I got 88, and I studied just as hard.
And of course, huge thanks to sponsors and Patreon supporters for helping create this content. It's been a really challenging time and the support has been huge.
We can actually go back and get the camera. Gotta get the camera. Yeah, you don't want to go down. Okay, you gonna stay? You stay. Good boy. You stay. Stay. Ugh. Look at that good boy. If only you would sleep better when I'm studying. Hang on, let me get the leash. Okay, let's go.